Hey everyone, Richard Metal Fan here. Bring you guys a new video. It's sort of like a discussion video, I guess, if you want to say it, but I guess not really. But anyway, I saw this video being made, these kind of videos being made. I recently saw one of my favorite YouTubers, Cover Killer Nation, do this video, and I decided, you know what? Why not make my own video? As you can see below the title, we're going to be talking about the Farewell Black Sabbath. Because for those of you who don't know, last night Black Sabbath played their final show ever in their career in their home country of England in Birmingham. And now it's just going to feel weird seeing people from being people used to saying Black Sabbath are a heavy metal band to Black Sabbath were a heavy metal band, and there was a lot of mixed emotions. Like I've even saw some of the videos that are on YouTube now, and it's just wow, I really can't believe it. After nearly 50 years of rockin', Black Sabbath are finally calling it quits. Wow, I remember the first time I ever heard of Black Sabbath. It was back in 2007. Oh, wow, crazy, almost a little over 10 years ago. It was from my dad. Basically, my dad is the reason why I got into metal. And I remember he was playing like something from Paranoid. I remember it was like the title track, War Pigs, Iron Man. I heard all that good stuff, and at first it was kind of iffy on me, but then I listened to it more and it grew on me. And Black Sabbath are basically one of my favorite bands ever. And after 50 years, I mean, of course they're getting old. They can't do it forever, but just I just can't believe that they're done. I mean, one of my biggest regrets is I never got to see them live. I mean, they never came to Georgia or anywhere nearby. I was like, fuck my life. But that's besides the point. I mean, these guys basically pioneered based in what I consider the greatest genre of music of all time, heavy metal. Like back then when they started out in the late 60s, early 70s, like basically created something new. Nobody had ever heard of it before. With their first album, the self-titled album. And it was different. It was dark. It was eerie. It just like the tone of it just sounds kind of have a little bit of a creepy-ish vibe to it, but it just sounds very raw and aggressive. From the 70s to 78, 79, I mean, like Ozzy Osbourne's vocals, his voice just sounds really just raw and pure. I mean, Tony Iommi, what can I say? The riff lord himself. I mean, when he got his parts of his fingers chopped off in a factory incident, and he kind of like had some plastic molds onto his fingers, like that proves that he could still continue on, and I'm really glad that he did. And he's basically one of the most influential and important guitar players in heavy metal history. And Geezer Butler, what can I say? The guy basically we made some new bass playing, the first bass player to ever play with a wall, which had later influenced bass players like Cliff Burton and other bass players outside of his influence like Steve Harris, and too many to name. And Bill Ward, the guy can that makes some great drumming. And of course, like in the beginning of the 80s, they went through a lineup change. They got the great Ronnie James Dio, and they put out really great albums such as like Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, which in my opinion is probably the best Black Sabbath albums to date. Same thing with Dehumanizer, which came out in 92. But they had a point in like the late like 82, it's throughout most of the 80s where they kind of went meh. But when 92 and when Ronnie James Dio came out, they came out with Dehumanizer, and I thought that was their best they did since the Mob Rules album. But when they got back together with Ozzy, it was like the late late 90s, early 2000s. It was really great, and I thought they were going to make a new album, but it took a little while, and it was around '06 where the band went on hiatus, and then they formed a new band, Heaven and Hell, in 2007, and they only released one album called The Devil You Know. And sadly, in 2010, we lost Ronnie James Dio to cancer. But it wasn't until late 2011 when it was announced that Black Sabbath were officially going to reunite with the original lineup. But that was short-lived in early 2012 when Bill Ward left because of a contract dispute. So they got the drummer from Ozzy Osbourne's solo band playing, which I can never remember his name off the top of my head. And for their 13 album, they got Brad Wilk from Rage Against the Machine playing drums, and I think he did really great job filling in those shoes that Bill Ward did. But yeah, after 50 years of playing and releasing great legendary albums such as like the self-titled Paranoid Volume 4, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, Sabotage, it's like Black Sabbath are now done, and it's just really sad. And just what I want to say is thank you, Black Sabbath. It's just it's gonna feel weird not hearing or seeing Black Sabbath or even making new music, which is gonna be a shame. But I'm really glad. But 50 years or so, they've made a great career, and they had a great influential career. So thank you, Black Sabbath, for making the greatest genre of music ever, known as heavy metal. So yeah, I just thought I'd make this little video for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all in the next video, and keep it metal.